I turned 68 on a Wednesday. No celebration, no visitors, no candles, just me, a chipped mug of black Folgers, and the sound of my old G fridge wheezing like a tire horse. The morning light hit the kitchen table at a slant, illuminating the hairline cracks in the laminate. I'd meant to replace that table for years, but somehow life had always insisted on more urgent priorities. The furnace kicked on with a groan. January in Ohio has a particular kind of cold, the kind that seeps into your knees and stays there even after you get up and move around. I shuffled to the window, pulled back the curtain, and watched the snow drift down over my quiet neighborhood. A few Christmas decorations still clung to porches, refusing to surrender to the new year. I lived alone, had ever since Margaret passed away in 2016. Stroke. Quick. One moment she was complaining about how the potatoes at Kroger had gotten watery lately, and the next moment she was on the floor in the kitchen. I still see her sometimes when I open the cabinets, her handwriting on old spice jars, her labels on Tupperware. My daughter Anna used to come by once a week back then. After Margaret died, she'd bring over baked ziti or leftover chicken enchiladas, and we'd sit in the living room with the ancient Sony TV buzzing in the background. But as time passed and Anna's life got busier, the visits turned into phone calls. Short ones, background noise calls that felt more like interruptions than gestures of care. Still, she was my daughter, and I've always been a forgiving man. It was mid-February when she stopped by with a strange request. "Dad, could you help me with something? Jason's car insurance is overdue. They're threatening a penalty. It's just $600. We'll pay you back next week." Jason, her husband, was a man with a permanent frown and a chest that puffed out when he talked about his small business ventures. A man whose shirts were always from the discount rack, but whose ego needed its own driveway. I'd never quite warmed to him. Margaret hadn't either. I opened my checkbook anyway. She hugged me, quickly, like brushing crumbs off a counter, and hurried out the door. A few days later, she came again. This time, $450 for gap in the utility bill. "I'll pay you back next week," she repeated. I nodded. I didn't think much of it. Not then. But even soft men have limits. Mine just took a while to find. March rolled in bitter and windy. My joints ached more than usual, and the house seemed larger, emptier. I spent mornings reading old newspapers I never threw out, afternoons tinkering with the Dell laptop Margaret bought in 2012. A silver thing with a battery that held about 6 minutes of charge. Anna's visits increased, though not in a comforting way. She would arrive with her coat still on, eyes darting around the room, like she was checking if anything had changed since last week. She always had a reason for stopping by, and it was never to talk. On March 8th, she placed several sheets of paper in front of me. "Dad, these are just simple bank forms," she said. "They'll let me help you manage payments, just temporarily, while tax season is crazy. For convenience." Her voice was airy, but her fingers tapped rapidly on the table. "What exactly am I signing?" "Oh, just temporary access. Only to check bills, not to make transfers or anything. You know me." I hesitated. The words blurred slightly. My glasses needed replacing. Anna sighed. "Dad, seriously, it's basic stuff. I'm helping you." I felt foolish questioning her. She was my daughter. So I signed. She scanned the papers with her phone, her expensive iPhone Pro Max that Jason had bragged about getting on promo. She left without staying for dinner, saying she had to pick up takeout. 2 days later, I went to Applebee's for lunch, one of my few indulgences. The waitress knew me by name. "Mr. Miller, your usual grilled chicken and iced tea?" While waiting for my check, I overheard a laugh from the booth behind me. "Yeah, man," a familiar voice said. "We're finally getting ahead. The old guy's helping us out more than ever." Jason. My stomach tightened. His friend chuckled. "You lucked out with the in-laws." "Yeah," Jason said, lowering his voice. "In a few more months, that credit card balance won't be an issue." I told Anna we just have to keep things smooth. Keep things smooth. I froze, fork in the air. The chicken tasted like chalk. When I left, Jason was still laughing. That night, I checked my email. Bank notifications that I remembered seeing before were suddenly gone. Deleted. By whom, I could guess. But I still didn't say anything. Not yet. The moment that cracked the glass came on April 2nd. I sat at the dining table with my Dell laptop humming softly, a cup of Maxwell House cooling beside me. I typed in my bank login, slowly, one finger at a time. The balance that appeared made no sense. I blinked, leaned closer. $61,822. It should have been closer to 90. I clicked transactions. My eyes traced down the page. March 5th, online transfer, $4,500. March 14th, online transfer, $3,000. March 22nd, online transfer, $5,200. March 28th, online transfer, $2,800. April 1st, online transfer, $3,600. April 2nd, online transfer, $7,900. Total missing, $27,000. $27,000. I sat very still. My pulse thudded in my ears. For a moment, I wondered if this was some kind of glitch, or if I'd forgotten. No, I knew every penny in that account like I knew the creaks in my floorboards. Beside each transfer, in tiny gray letters, was a phrase, authorized user, Amler92. And I stared at the dates. Every single transfer corresponded to days she'd stopped by, documents in hand. The air felt thick, heavy. At 6:30 she called. Dad, could you send me $1,200? Car trouble. We really need it. My voice trembled. Your car again? Yeah, transmission or something. Please, Dad. I didn't say yes. I didn't say no. I said nothing. She hung up after a moment, annoyed. 27,000. I didn't sleep that night. Not even a minute. The next morning, I dialed the number on the back of my bank card. A woman named Patricia answered, her voice brisk and polite. I need to verify some transfers, I said. I didn't authorize them. She asked for my details. Then she paused. Mr. Miller, all these transfers were initiated through your online banking, by your authorized secondary user. My what? Your secondary user, Anna Miller. It shows she logged in from your home IP address. My thumb twitched against the phone. So these are legitimate? I can only confirm they were done using the permissions you granted. Permissions I had handed her in March. I thanked Patricia and hung up. Something inside me hardened. A small, cold stone where my heart used to feel soft. But I needed one more confirmation. One last detail to seal everything. And I had said her car needed repairs. Transmission gone. A big expense. I dialed the number for Harris Auto in town. A man picked up. Harris Auto, this is Tim. Hi, Tim. My daughter, Anna Miller. She brought in her car recently, right? Silence. A faint chewing sound. Anna Miller? No, sir. Haven't seen her car since last fall. That Subaru's been running fine. The cold stone expanded. I see, I said. That one phone call changed everything. By dusk, I had an appointment with my attorney, an old acquaintance from church named Gavin Becker. He wore the same gray suit every Sunday and had the blunt honesty of a man who'd seen too many families torn apart by money. He listened, his brow tightening with each detail. You gave her access? Yes. You didn't authorize transfers? No. You want to pursue this? I want my daughter to stop stealing from me, I said. My voice cracked only once. The first Saturday of May was my grandson's 8th birthday. Chuck E. Cheese, spinning lights, whirring machines, greasy pizzas smell heavy in the air. I arrived at 4:10 p.m., carrying a small gift bag with a Hot Wheels set. Children shrieked around me. Arcade bells chimed. Somewhere, a robotic mouse danced in a sequin vest. Anna was by the table, arranging plates. She looked up, froze. Dad, you came? Yes, I said. Jason approached, wearing a baseball cap backward, acting like the king of discount suburbs. I sat down quietly. At 4:23 p.m., my attorney entered the building. Gavin wasn't subtle. 6'4", broad-shouldered, with a leather briefcase and an expression that suggested funerals amuse him. Anna's eyes widened. What is... Gavin placed a sealed envelope on the table in front of her. That, he said, is a formal notice regarding the misappropriation of $27,000 from your father's account. The room fell silent. Even the arcade machine seemed to pause. What? Anna whispered. Jason glared. You brought a lawyer to a kid's birthday party? I spoke softly. I asked him to deliver it somewhere public, safer for everyone. Anna's hands shook as she tore open the envelope. Dad, what is this? What are you doing? Read it. She scanned the pages. Color drained from her face. This is insane, she hissed. I didn't steal anything. You gave me access. Access to help me pay bills, not to drain $27,000. It wasn't like that. Gavin lifted a sheet of paper. Screenshots of every transfer, he said, and matching timestamps of your visits. Guests were staring now. Kids went quiet. Even the animatronic band seemed to wait. Jason slammed his palm onto the table. This is harassment. I looked at him steadily. Your insurance, your credit cards, your vacations, your car, everything you claimed I was helping with. Where did it all go, Jason? My money, wasn't it? That's none of your damn business, he shouted. Oh, it is, Gavin said calmly. Very much so. And I tried to stand, but her legs buckled. Dad, you're ruining my life. No, I said. You did that yourself. I left before the cake was cut. At 7:15 the next morning, my bank called. Mr. Miller, someone attempted to log in to your account. We've locked everything down per your instructions. I thanked them. Anna called 13 times that day. Voicemail after voicemail, crying, yelling, pleading, bargaining. Dad, you don't understand. Jason is furious. You're destroying our family. I only took it because we needed it. I was going to put back. How could you do this to me? How could I? I stopped listening after voicemail 5. 3 weeks later, Gavin called me. She'll settle, he said. Full amount owed. Payment plan over 12 months, plus a penalty. Otherwise, criminal charges. And Jason? He separated. Told her she sabotaged his future. Moved out last week. I thanked him. Quietly. I didn't ask how Anna was coping. I didn't want to know. Summer arrived late, but warm. I finally hired a contractor to replace my roof. Then I bought a new washing machine. Samsung, stainless steel, quiet as a whisper. I repainted the walls in the living room, fixing the scuffs Anna's kids had left years ago. The house felt lighter, as if someone had opened a window inside my chest. One evening in July, I heard steps on my porch. When I opened the door, Anna stood there, eyes red, hair messy, clutching a stack of papers. Dad, can we talk? I hesitated. Her gaze dropped to the porch boards. I'm so sorry, she whispered. I didn't mean for things to get this far. Maybe she meant it. Maybe she didn't. The child I raised was somewhere inside that woman. But the woman had sharp edges I no longer recognized. I didn't speak. Instead, I stepped back into the house, brought out a sealed envelope, and placed it on the porch railing. Inside were copies of the settlement documents she needed. Nothing more. Take care of yourself, I said. And then I closed the door. It was the softest sound in the world, and yet it felt like a lifetime ending. I stood in the stillness of my hallway, listening to her footsteps fade. When silence returned, it felt earned. For the first time in years, the house felt like mine again. And that is how I learned the simplest truth of all. Sometimes justice doesn't shout. Sometimes it knocks, receives its answer, and walks quietly back into the night.